What is happening, everybody? I hope you're all well, and welcome to Dragon Age 2 Codex. So, full disclosure, this is not going to be a main episode of the Let's Play. This is going to be a kind of follow-up episode where I read last episode's codexes that we found. If that's not something you're interested in, go ahead and click away now and wait for the next main episode of the Let's Play. If that is something you're interested in, then let's brush up on our Dragon Age 2 studies. So, Kirkwall, the Gallows. Statues of tortured slaves fill the Gallows courtyard, a ghastly memento of Kirkwall's history. 15 years ago, Kirkwall was the Tevinter Imperium's largest quarry, feeding construction of the Imperial Highway. The Imperium's hunger for expansion led to legions of slaves forced into working the quarry. When the Empire's construction phase ended, Kirkwall slid naturally into its new role as the capital of the slave trade, the Gallows at its heart. The statues are not monuments to the suffering of slaves. Every inch and angle of the courtyard was designed by magisters bent on breaking the spirit of newcomers. Executions here took place daily, sometimes hourly, and corpses were hung from the gibbets throughout the yard. New slaves trudging in from the docks saw what awaited them. When Our Lady turned her armies against the Imperium, the slaves of Kirkwall revolted and claimed the city for themselves. The gallows stood empty for 200 years, not to be reopened until the crowning of Divine Justinia I. The gallows transformed the city again when the abandoned prison tower became the home of Kirkwall's Circle. From In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Travels of a Chantry Scholar by Brother Genevieve. So I mentioned in last episode's Let's Play that they really captured that design where everything looks like it's looming over you and it's very oppressive to walk around Kirkwall. And they literally explicitly mention it here in the Codex that it was designed to do that, and the art design team really nailed that. I'm a fan of the art design and direction of this game. We don't have much from last episode, but we do have a couple of character things. So, Varric Tethras. I know everyone in this city worth knowing. Varric was born 3 years after his father's exile from Orzammar. In the world of the Merchants Guild, the ancestors never spoke, and paragons were the heroes in tall tales. The number of dancers a Kalna lady gave to a lowborn ascendant boy were more pivotal than the reign of kings. While Bartrand ran the businesses and drove House Tethras ever higher up the social ladder, Varric looked after the family and their retainers. His mother, Lady Isla, suffered terribly from the trauma of her disgrace and exile, finding solace in liquor and smoke. It fell to her younger son to try to curb the worst of her drunken rages, to keep her from becoming a matter of public scandal, and to care for her when she fell ill from her excesses. Though he is famous throughout the Merchants Guild for his stories, Varric speaks rarely of himself or his family. Most of Kirkwall knows him. Everyone has bought him a drink at least once, for the sake of his fictions rather than his family connections. So this gives you a nice little taste of Varric already. You know, Bartrand's here, he cares about money, he's driving up the business, but Varric is the one that's taking care of the family and the retainers, the connections. Even his mother, like, he's the one that stays home and deals with the drunken ragers and trying to stop herself from throwing herself into ruin. That's a Varric, not the older brother, the younger brother. And he's the one that cares about the small people involved in this, the retainers, the family, the cousins, the connections. He's a people person. I mean, he kind of already got that when you get his introduction, but Varric is very much a people person. His brother, well, not so much. Bartrand Tethras. Half of Kirkwall wants to be my best friend right now. The history of Noble House Tethras stretches back to the foundation of Orzammar. The memories say that 3 times, a child of House Tethras took the office of Assembly Steward. They held appointments in the Shapered of Memories and the Shapered of Golems, but no longer. In the 2nd year of the reign of King Endroni Dukan, Lord Andvar Tethras was found guilty before the Assembly of willfully manipulating proving matches in favor of his house. For this affront to the ancestors, he and all his house were sentenced to exile on the surface. Andvar died a mere 5 years later, leaving behind his Lady Isla, 10-year-old Bartrand, and 2-year-old Varric. Exile, surface life, and the loss of her husband conspired against Lady Isla, who took to drink, leaving young Bartrand to manage what was left of House Tethras. By the time he was 15, Bartrand had doubled his family's fortune. The disgrace of House Tethras fueled his ambition, and his once noble title gave him an instant place among the Kalnas, the old money elite of the Dwarven Merchants Guild. He used it to build alliances and business ventures as if he were a member of the Orzammar Assembly. By the time Lady Isla died, Bartrand had made the Tethras family one of the guild's most influential, but wealth and power on the surface couldn't sate him. He began to court alliances with the wealthiest descendant families, branching into banking and mercenary companies. Guild members mutter that nothing will satisfy Bartrand but a complete reconstruction of House Tethras' estate in Orzammar, down to the rivers of lava built in Kirkwall. So for all Bartrand's scruples, he is a very successful man, and it's interesting to see that his Varric and Bartrand's family was actually evicted for fix improvement matches. Those are the honor duels, usually to first blood, but sometimes to death, that are pretty famous in Dwarven culture. It's interesting that that's what got his family expelled. You would have expected some kind of like shady surface dwelling or something, not... Well, I guess they were probably betting on the proven matches, right? But it's interesting that Varric's family is not in Orzammar because they left in disgrace. I wonder if we'll get a mention of who we have on the throne right now in Orzammar. Because we did put in Harrowmont. Wonder if we'll get a catch up on that. Bethany Hawke. I was just hoping it would be different here in Kirkwall. We're not running away. We're coming home. Even growing up as an apostate has not dimmed Bethany's faith and sunny nature, though it has colored her view of the world. Bethany wishes, above all else, to be normal. She appreciates the trouble her family took to keep her out of the circle, but the running, hiding, and constant fear have taken their toll. Though she would never admit so to her mother, not after all she sacrificed to protect her, Bethany sometimes wonders whether she would be better off in the circle. At least there, she would be with other mages, confident she'd be serving the will of the Maker and not defying a millennium of religious teachings. Still, her first loyalty is to her family. Despite her doubts, she gladly embraces her magic if it keeps them safe. She has a teasing rivalry with her twin, Carver, and greatly respects Apparition. She's very much the young sister that looks up to the big brother. And I guess she doesn't have much of a rivalry with Carver anymore, does she? The Hero of Ferelden. The Hero of Ferelden was the youngest son of Bryce Cousland, Turn of Highever, when all Rendenhau's forces attacked Castle Cousland and murdered most of the Cousland family. The hero escaped to safety with Grey Warden Commander Duncan, who then recruited him into the Order. The hero fought and killed the Archdemon, and lived to tell the tale. With the Archdemon gone, the Darkspawn ranks broke, and the Horde was easily routed. After ending the Bly, the Hero of Ferelden took up the mantle of Warden Commander, and began the task of rebuilding the Order in Ferelden. So that would take us into Awakening, so I suppose, since the year passed inside our regular playthrough, then that would mean that back in Origins is probably in Awakening. He's probably currently rebuilding the Amaranthine Order. Anyways, that is going to take us all up to date with the Codexes this time. We didn't have much to go on, but I did say I would do it at the end of every episode. Keep us up to date, keep getting that flavor text and that context, so thank you for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, leave a like and a comment. If you want to support the cause and help improve the channel, please do check out my Patreon in the description below. Otherwise, stay tuned and I'll see you soon with more Dragon Age 2. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Peace.